recording.
Hit it.
Hit it. Just speed up the whole intro. STLiens podcast. Today episode with Skew in the corner. We got Charles right here. Charlie.
That's how Alchemist makes beats. He just spams it at first at the end.
But no, for real though. Yup.
Go fast.
Damn it.
Go fast like NASCAR. Okay, I got to make that was humorous.
Yeah, I'll fucking keep it in.
Take him back.
I never fuck with these.
If you ain't getting
There
money,
we go.
Boy, you lame. We haven't do. Oh,
I'm going hand.
what's the top left?
Classic.
Oh, we
classic.
haven't-
Yeah, I forgot about the hello there. Classic.
Classic.
Okay.
Damn.
I didn't know I had that either. I gotta turn that volume down.
That was the
shit
Game Boy
sharp.
Advance,
yeah,
right?
on me. The colors. Pokemon is about to be intense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember those nights.
How can you do this?
There we go. Okay.
This is outrageous.
That's the last one because you're just gonna let it play.
Yeah.
Yep.
How can you
How
be
can you be on the council
and not?
be a master?
He makes a valid.
He makes
point.
a very
He makes a
valid point, man. And because that's the thing, man. At that point, not to go into a whole tangent on Star Wars, but he was completely right. The Jedi Council were basically like, "Fuck you. We don't trust you because we had, we sense it in you."
Yeah, the evil.
But the reason why Anakin turned was because they didn't trust him.
That's what I'm saying.
Man, see, they don't want to talk about
It's
that
all
though,
full circle.
as most things are.
But like I tell my brothers all the time, though, in the end, he did bring balance to the Force by having Luke. Now, okay, I know. Okay, a couple people died. Okay, I get it. But shit had to happen, but
That's what they always talk about with Darth Vader and even Kratos. With Darth Vader, he committed genocide. Like, if you read the comics and the books and shit, genocide on multiple planets. Like, just tons and tons of people wiped out. But he I guess, he killed Palpatine in the end, so he kind of redeemed himself. But
True,
can you redeem yourself after committing that many atrocities?
that's true. But he did come back as a Force ghost, so that says a lot.
That is, we can't argue with the Force.
You can't argue with the Force.
But what about with Kratos, man? I mean, Kratos did wipe out an entire culture.
But he did give at the end when he ended up having Pandora's box and shit, and he killed himself.
He released hope.
Yeah, he released hope and free will to the people, so they're able to rebuild. So his sins were forgiven.
My question is, how he fled after God of War 3 and went to the Nordic realm and all that, Scandinavia. Atlas in the Greek mythology, he was holding the world up. So what the fuck? Was he just holding up the Greek world on what we know as Earth?
That's what I always thought of. But
Okay.
a lot of things that make it make sense for me when it comes to these different mythologies is that back then they didn't have the access that we do now. So maybe in their world they thought they were the only ones living.
Right.
So maybe Atlas holding up in how we think today.
No. Dude,
I know,
it's
right?
literally
That's how it is.
instinct.
That's how it is. So how we see so many different. Oh yeah, I got you, bro. How we see so many different countries and shit today that we have access to. Back then, they didn't know existed. So the Greeks may have thought they were the only ones really there. Besides, the people they came across, but they thought they were really the ones of the world. So
Yeah, I was just trying to think of in God of War's terms because I think it was number 2 when you're fighting Icarus, right?
yeah.
And
I think
it shows you swoop down in front of Atlas, but below Atlas, he's just in the abyss.
Yeah.
So it's if Kratos supposedly fell off that cliff in 3, and in the book they said he found wolves and they took him to the Scandinavian countries, but I'm just okay, was Atlas, what the fuck?
That's true. I always thought maybe Atlas fucking drowned. When
Damn.
all the guys died, maybe he just when the world lost control, he did too. Maybe he just like I don't know.
Did his thing. Yeah, I
Maybe
can say
he just
that.
passed away too. I don't fucking know.
Uh,
That's my thought on it. But,
yeah, submit your
shit.
theories in the comments below.
Yeah, we'll have a poll or some shit. You know, y'all can put in y'all answers. But
What's been up, man?
oh man,
Welcome to STLiens episode 80 something probably.
I think we at 89. We almost at 90.
Damn.
We almost at 90. We at 89 now.
What are we at? Has it been? It's been 2 years, right? Or has it been a year? It's 2022. We started this in the beginning of COVID, which was 2020, right?
My neighbor crazy. I'm like, that shit sound like a car. Nigga, I thought a car drifted into the house. I was like, what the fuck?
It did sound like a car. I was kind of...
That's why I'm sitting here processing. I wasn't thinking of the answer because I knew we started the podcast around COVID, but I was trying to sit here like, did a car just hit this building? We good, though. That shit was fucking hilarious. I hope the mics caught that.
the sound that just emitted.
I really hope the mics caught that. If it did, people will understand.
It was like a horror movie.
I thought car drifted this bitch. I'm like, oh shit, they be making Hellcats like that. What?
Bashed right through.
But yeah, it's been a smooth 2 years though. Back on the original thing, because we started this beginning of COVID, which was what 2020.
Yeah, 2020.
2020. Yeah.
I mean, I could easily go on like Facebook and find out, but I'm just gonna do a guesstimate for now.
Yeah, I say 2020 for sure.
But I mean, even if it's 1 year for whatever reason, we're still here.
Yeah, it's still history.
Which, speaking of history, we were talking about earlier.
Oh,
hey, you see, I thought you intentionally did that.
No, I didn't. I was just talking
Damn.
shit. Okay, look at you.
Perfect
Mr.
segue. Yeah.
Mr. Segway.
Man,
Skewway.
bring the segue back.
Mm.
But yeah, man, we were talking about war because you said just how much you fuck with history, how interesting it is when you know, all these things that you never knew happened back in the day happen. But yeah, we were talking more specifically about war.
War, bro.
And I was telling you about how even though I fuck with like, I find it interesting. It's not like I like the idea of war.
Exactly.
But we had both made very good points about how back in the day, war was almost like an art form. Because, you know, it was just, you were using weapons, like you said, that were extensions of yourself.
Exactly.
It was very fair. You train as hard as you can and hope that you can in one-on-one combat.
Overpower,
right.
From this individual.
But nowadays, war is so advanced, even with guns. And like I said, my example was the mines. You could take a step now in the battlefield and get completely blown the fuck up. And it's just... You couldn't do anything about it.
Exactly.
And it's like, okay, if there's at least going to be war, let's make it, let's go back to the whole, you just got to be a good warrior.
You have to be a strong and well-equipped warrior instead of things being as... I mean, you could say political, but it's just like, again, like we were talking about back at the riverfront, bro, just more honorable. If you could be more of a powerful and honorable warrior now, like back then was, war would be appreciated.
Yeah.
Because, back then it was just like, now we view it as something incredible because it was honorable. It had an art form behind it. It was very cultural. Like, war now is not a culture because it's this guns, violence, A-bombs. Back then it was a culture. Like, if we were talking about Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah.
And when the samurais were going against the Mongols, if you were to look at pictures or like depictions of that, you'll see the different cultures in that. Like, you can clearly see, okay, those are samurai, those are Mongols. They brought their culture to the battlefield.
And that's the thing, man. The Mongols in that game, they were just such savages that when they attacked, they had no morals. So they were doing shit that the samurai wouldn't even do in combat because they didn't believe it. It's not honorable. And they were just getting demolished. So Jin, the guy you play as, he... at some point in the game starts adapting the Ghost of Tsushima persona where his uncle is telling him that's not the samurai way. Don't be a sellout. Basically, uh, you fight like how is honorable, and if you die honorably.
Mm-hmm.
But Jin was like, "Fuck that! I'm trying to save the island and save my people. I'm gonna go to their tactics." And that's when he started coming at it like stealth wise. And it was like from samurai to ninja, had poison darts,
Yeah.
poisoning food. So back in those days, man, like you were saying earlier, it was basically an art form. Nowadays, my example at the riverfront was you can give the somebody with the worst aim in the world a machine gun, anything automatic, and when they hold down that trigger and they're at least pointing in your direction, just because of how advanced weaponry is now, there's a good chance that with an automatic weapon, you're still going to hit somebody that you're facing.
Exactly.
So weapons just have made it way too easy. There's even like a whole thing with motherfuckers out there that like to like hunt. There's people that are like, I hunt with bows because the guns make it too easy. And yeah, that's just how far we've come.
But again, like even with that point, it just shows you how powerful like that old school tactic of even hunting, that tactic of just like I don't even know what to call that shit, just human interaction, like you know what I mean? Like that's just pure like how the example you said, like I use a bow and arrow because it feels more natural, or it's just whatever the reason may
Right.
be. The guns just take the honor and the art out of all of it because it just seems so much of a shortcut. Like how you just said, you get a machine gun,
And
shoot
you
up
can be
everything.
very skillful with a gun.
You can
like
be.
there's people out there, I mean, they have gun like shooting competitions and shit, but like,
That's why the Wild West was so pure as an era.
right.
Because we seen that at the height. You know what I mean? Like,
And even then, it was just simple rifle. There was no automatics.
nah, like
It was just precision.
yeah, for sure. Like precision and just like it was like a more advanced, like I know this sounds head ass and crazy, but more advanced bow. Like you could use an old Western rifle and gun, and you still feel like you're using, you know what I mean, just a natural weapon.
Your instinct.
Yeah, you're still using your instinct. Like guns now, just it don't even feel that way. Like you feel like you cheating when you holding a gun.
Yeah.
Like if you gave me like a Red Dead Redemption 2 rifle, I'll feel like I need to know what I need to do
Right.
to shoot this. You know what I mean?
The average person wouldn't be able to use it.
Exactly, bro. Like that shit is wild. But yeah, the Wild West was the last we seen of incredible gunplay. Like
Apex.
Apex gunplay. Like,
that word's become a meme
I know,
nowadays,
right?
man. Every time I think of something, I'm like Apex.
a whole game took that word away from us, and this is a very strong word too. Like
It is, man. Like I mean, if you're Apex, you are literally you're the top predator.
that's what I'm saying. And the game
So-
took that, fucked it up.
But in like I said, man, the history. I brought up about the fucking the Vikings destroying what I thought was the Library of Alexander.
Yeah.
Setting people back thousands and thousands of years, and
bro.
it's just like,
All that
damn.
history.
They were like meatheads. All they cared about was fighting,
Fighting and food.
savagery.
They didn't have they looked in there and they're like, bro, this is a big ass building with all these wasted things of paper. We
Right.
can't even read. Like, bro, like, where's the food? Where are the hoes? Like, that's what they were thinking.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, this is all knowledge in here. Like,
We're gonna pillage.
yeah, we're just gonna burn this shit until we find food.
That's the thing, man. They could have had the cure for so many things already. Who knows what was in there?
They
And the
coulda-
Vikings were just like, eh.
They could have had. I don't know if this joke will stick because I don't know if it was BC or AD, but they probably had Jesus' journal in there.
Yeah, dude.
Like they,
Actual pages of the Bible.
you know what I mean? They probably got like portraits of Jesus because he was a carpenter. Maybe he has a business. If you're a carpenter, you're a business. So maybe he had a portrait of him like when he was a carpenter.
Damn.
It's probably a portrait of Jesus as a carpenter that's gone because of Vikings. We probably have like Jesus' like first table. You know what I
Damn.
mean? Like,
I want to believe.
not the actual table, but how he did it. Like, yeah, bro, you cut the wood like this.
It's the blueprint.
Jesus,
carpentry blueprint.
like, because we don't know nothing besides him, but besides like he's the son of God and like you know, he saved. You know his story, but we don't know his origin. Jesus never got a prequel.
Damn.
Like, what was his life growing up with Mary? Like, did the kids bully him because they're like, oh, you don't know your dad?
Damn.
Like, do we know about this?
I was about to say, do we? I've never.
No,
I haven't.
We only know when this dude was like saving lives on the cross. Like, what about his come up? When he realized he could walk on water.
Damn.
Where are these stories? Like,
Is
like,
that the? I mean,
he playing
shit.
on a Nile or whatever, and was just like, oh shit! Like, what's these stories? How did he find out he could do these miracles? Was he down in it when did he find out he could do this shit? Was he hanging with like a chick and she fell, scraped her knees, like, damn, baby, you all right? And then it healed, and he's like,
Oh shit!
oh shit! Like,
I'm the son of God.
Right? When did he find this shit out?
There's got to be stories about that, man. I'm not. My upbringing wasn't really heavily on that, even though Catholicism and shit.
Yeah, but it's just interesting stories.
Yeah,
it's just like y'all missing some points here. When did he? I need an intense, legit Jesus movie, and I don't need none of that shit like about him dying on the cross and that part of things, because everyone know that. I need to have an origin story of how he came up, how he became a carpenter, how he found out he could do miracles, or how and when he could do miracles, how and when he could walk on water, when he found his disciples. His disciples was a group of 12 people. Fuck Judas, but besides that, 12 people. When did he meet these people? 12 friendships, that's history. That's like a whole arc itself.
Well, see, I feel like I got to go back and read everything again. But I remember, like, I've read, like, the book of Luke. That's one of the disciples. And it was, like, obviously his retelling of what he saw. Okay. So we get the stories within the Bible from the disciples. But yeah, like, who's talking about? I mean, there's got to be something in there.
He's got to have a close homie that knew him since day one. That they came up, he was by, like, Mary's hut or something. He's like, oh yeah, I've been knowing Jesus. Like Herbert or something. Like, damn. I don't fucking know. Like, it has to be someone that knew Jesus before the fame of the cross. Like, it has to be.
I believe so, yeah. There has to be.
Yeah, bro, we used to stay fucking with him. We used to be like, man, bro, your name Jesus. You're like, no, it's Jesus. Like, I need to know that part.
Call me G.
I need to know. It's so many stories, bro. Same thing with Moses. Like, I need to know what, you know what I mean? Moses got a cool little origin story, but no one knows, like, you know what I mean? It's just certain things in the Bible.
The burning bush, man. The theory about how...
Yeah, he was just smoking weed.
He was just smoking weed, burning bush.
It makes sense.
And he had a conversation with God.
Come on, we've been knowing that.
Damn.
Like, don't even get me started. They said Jesus was a drunk. And, like, he always showed, I forgot how they described it, but if you translate in today's terms, it meant, like, his face was very drowsy, and he had that drunkish type of face. Anyways, bruh, when did this man find out he could turn water to wine? Like, shit like this. They don't talk about this in the stories. Like,
did he just know?
That's what I'm saying.
Like,
Book of Lewis. Yeah, we was out, because, Jesus was a shepherd.
Yeah, he was.
Like, yeah, we was out tending the sheep. He gave me some sheep milk, and it was just like, it didn't taste like sheep milk. Like, we need these stories, but, like, no one is. Journalists were so fucked back then. Like, if I was a journalist back then, I'm like, yo, fuck these stories. We got 500 stories about how he died on the cross. What are some other stories? It's like me going on YouTube right now and finding a video of being like, a dude that used to work at McDonald's has a story about how he worked with Tupac. Like, oh shit, Tupac worked at McDonald's? Like,
yeah.
Oh yeah, he was there for a little temp job. Like, oh, new information. Like, I don't have to hear about another perspective about how he got shot in Las Vegas. I got something I don't know.
Right.
That's what I need with Jesus. I need some new stories.
So what you're saying is we know too much. Yeah, we already know everything.
We know too much of the same thing. What you gonna tell me next? Oh no, he really died on a cross made of mahogany. It's like, what?
Damn. That's my favorite type of wood.
Yeah, Paul. Of course.
Thank you. Thank you.
The people know what you mean. But yeah, that's it though. We need more stories of Jesus from a different perspective. Like, Wouldn't you love like stories from just any person, just from a different perspective besides their talent? Like hearing a story about how fucking, for whatever weird fucking reason, Alchemist was working at Captain D's.
Yeah, that would be
Just
cool.
Shit, just shit like that. Like I want to hear a story about like fucking, I don't know, like the time DMX like did a intern job at a fucking vet. Like I don't know. Like maybe he
Anything.
Maybe he did do this. Like you never know.
I want to believe.
Yeah, because like you just gotta like look at it from a bigger side of things. So a lot of these artists didn't really get popping to their late 20s. I get it. Like you get it too. As an artist, you go through life, but you still have time for your craft. But
Yes.
if you're going through life, it's going to be other things that take you away from that. I just want to hear those stories. So like, give me a nice little, some type of. It can be from any artist that had to come up, like an Eminem story about some shit he did when he was like 25. 24. Like just some off hip hop shit. Like okay, I know he always been an artist, so when he was coming up, yeah, I know about that he performed over here. Like it makes sense. He's right. He's an artist. He got to perform over here. But give me a story about when he wasn't performing. He was going through his come up, but not everything was focused on that. He had life shit that happened.
That's why I respect artists that always think to like film shit. Like Wu-Tang Clan, like just even artists in the 90s, there were a lot of people that were smart enough to always have somebody that was filming. Mm-hmm. So you got to see this shit unfold. Like that time when Jay-Z first heard the Dirt Off Your Shoulders beat.
Yeah, shit like that.
That shit makes me happy because it's like you actually see a historic moment take place
happen, bro.
before a hit was made. Yeah, man, shit.
It's real shit, bro. That's all what it is. Like we always get spoon fed the same shit just from a different way. Like just give us something totally different.
Give me a different meal, and the same meal every day.
Come on, same meal, but now it's on a different side of the plate.
And it doesn't change anything.
It doesn't change nothing.
All you did was change the food selection, location.
On me, the viewpoint.
The peas are still there.
Still there, same amount and everything, bro.
Just on the left now.
No, for real. That shit is real, bro.
Deep.
It's real.
That's pretty deep.
Just a viewpoint of shit. It's the same thing with movies, too, if you want to take it into media. That's why I want it. Like, that's why I'm happy, because I want to take the effort. Because I haven't been to the theaters in God knows when. But I want to go to the theaters to see the new Babylon movie that's dropping in December. Because that's like the first piece of cinema, when I look at the trailer, that gives me something original, unique, and fun. With I know Brad Pitt, Tobey Maguire, it got old girl that played I want to say Harley Quinn, and a ton of other roles. She's really good. No, not Harley Quinn. I think somebody else too, but she's really good. Her name's on the tip of my tongue, so I apologize. But that movie Babylon, when I look at the trailer, I'm excited to see this.
Damn.
That like movies used to be like that, man. You be excited to see them. Now it's just like, oh, okay.
It's usually a Marvel movie if anyone's that excited.
But even then, we're not excited for the movie. We're just excited for the character.
Yeah.
Like Babylon, this is something original. Like I'm excited for that movie.
Yeah.
If I see a Blade trailer, I'm just excited because it's Blade. Like I know him.
Right, man. That's what I'm saying. I think that's why like cinema's dying, is because most people, it's kind of like the music industry in a way, but in the film industry, the money is where, you're basically going to be dropping the budget of like $200 million, and it's all going to be CGI, and it's just going to be action packed. Exactly. Versus like, I remember when The Lighthouse and Uncut Gems came out, I believe the same year, or really close to each other. And I've seen both of those films premiere day at the theater. And they were last time I've actually seen movies where I was like, man, when was the last time I seen a really fucking good movie? Right. And since then, it hasn't really been that many.
Damn.
I find myself watching movies from the 90s and the early 2000s.
Yeah.
So, but every once in a while, there's bangers.
It is. Do you think just people don't care no more?
About movies?
Yeah, and I'm not even talking about like us people. I'm talking about like the corporations and shit now. Because like how you say you watched a lot of early 2000 joints, but that was like the last era of shit just being gritty in real life. I feel like that's when the early 2000s is when media really started to become real.
Yeah.
Like they were like, okay, instead of using these cameras to make something fake, let's use them to broadcast the real. I think to the 2000s were like the change of that from certain movies having real life themes.
Yeah.
Like reality TV shows. Like the early 2000s really set the point for making the cameras for real life. And I feel like personally that was the greatest jump in cinema, but then like our greatest downfall, because now when we use the cameras to broadcast us, now it's us on these cameras and shit. So it's kind of hard to really view real life when real life is, it's like a paradox. That's pretty much what I'm saying. Now it's no more like the seesaw is not teetering no more. It's like everything's level. Like it's just we're too involved with the social media and everything. So when we try to even be connected with media, it's no difference because we're in it, and it's nothing really it can broadcast about us because we're intertwined with it. Like
yeah, I can see that.
We're not separated like how it was in the early 2000s to where like we're not as connected. We have to go home to get on the internet. Like now it's just with us everywhere. So
everywhere,
we're a part of it. So it's just weird shit like that. Like
it made computer time back when I was younger, and when we finally did get a like main computer, like you said, you could only be on the internet searching anything when you're at home, and you don't really get to be on it because we're young, so we obviously have a limit to shit. So it's like, damn, I got an hour to actually boot this shit up and just use the internet. Now it's just like you said, you can wake up at 3 a.m., pull your phone out your pocket or off the table and go, damn, I want to see how this is made today.
Exactly. And
how do you make this again?
It takes a real life out of it because now we just a part of that, bro.
You know what? It has something to do with the Library of Alexander.
It does
burning.
Because they probably had a book in that motherfucker that could help with like distractions. Vikings burned that shit down. That probably could have saved us.
Dude, and we've talked about this on the podcast before. I feel like that's the perfect example of ignorance. They were just, if only they were able to read.
Man, that's it, bro. They opened them books with like no food and just started burning that shit, bro. Like I know how Vikings
kill
think.
it.
They open that shit up like, bro, it's just scribble, no food, no recipes, nothing. Burn this shit.
Damn.
They didn't even like a civilized motherfucker with like, I can't understand this. All right, fuck it, let's go. No, they had to burn.
We have to burn this shit.
No benefit from that.
Or maybe they were just that savage in a way where they knew it must have had some great importance, but was like, yeah, fuck it, it'll fuck them up worse.
Bro, Caucasians just love burning shit.
Man. Something about the fires, man.
Libraries, crosses. What's going on here? Like
gunshots. Need a fucking like A-bomb explosion sound effect.
They stay burning some shit, bro. What the fuck?
Dude, what the fuck's up with pyromaniacs?
Let's really talk about that. I never got I got it, but that burning the cross in my front yard shit is crazy because when y'all do this, and I know that cross heavy, so I know I had to see y'all put this shit up in my house or by my house. That's why, you know what?
I don't even know what it symbolizes, man. I always thought it was weird because it's like, okay, religious-wise, if you're burning a cross, that seems like a very sinful act.
Yeah, they're saying that, since the cross is so close to black people, it caught it on fire, so we evil.
That's what it's about?
Yeah, so when I'm bringing this Christian object by you and it's on fire, it's like, you're evil, get out of here.
It's like I don't even get that, but the thing is that still looks stupid on their part because it's like, bro, if y'all are still the ones burning the cross, they say you can't damage the American flag, it's illegal, you can't burn it.
Exactly. But look what you're doing, you're burning a whole religious object right there. And then the other part is, like I said, bro, you brought all this fucking wood with you, no carriage. I got this shit on the horse. Y'all built this shit on my yard. got the whatever liquid and burnt that shit. Like, look how much time you wasted to show your hate. Like, if you could have done something positive with that same energy, you could have made a whole business.
Right.
You over here hogging this, like, heavy ass wood in front of my crib, burning this cross. Get up. Like, bro, if you don't get the fuck off my porch, man, that shit, man. Like, I get it back then. Like, you know, it's different times, but like that idea, like, I wish I would wake up and a cross is burning in my front yard. I wouldn't even be mad at the shit burning or the fact that it's a cross. I'm mad y'all woke me up at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Like, y'all, I woke up. I'm hearing screaming. My wife like, babe. I'm like, what's up? I'm just, and I'm like, man, what the fuck, them goddamn squirrels? And I get my gun. I go outside. There's a whole, get back. You don't get off my porch.
We'll start blasting.
That shit is wild, man. Man.
I could never. I know we were brought up in a different, time period and environment, but I can't understand. Even with like us now, I know we're a little bit more progressive since back then,
Right?
But it's just like I would never see someone else and be like, I hate them so much because of what they look like, or just the difference in like appearance.
Right.
And that I feel like I have to take it upon myself to really let them know, or like I don't know. It's
like, look how much time and energy you putting in.
It's
just
too
to show
much.
Off that dump. No, bro. Just like it's too fucking much. Again, if you would have took that same energy and put it towards something positive, you could have upgraded yourself like a motherfucker.
Mm-hmm. Real shit, man.
God damn, bro. Man, too fucking much. But
What is there anybody specific that you like historic wise that you like really have been researching, like someone that's just very interesting to you?
Let me see.
Or has it been mostly just country, like like places in their history?
I really ain't got people yet. It's really been countries. I've been trying to really like look into different cultures and how they move.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I learned about looking through different cultures and shit is that I figured out a lot of cultures share the same thing, but they express it different. Like if you really look at it, if you look at a good amount of cultures and what they do, they share the same thing, but they just express it different.
Yeah.
Every culture has music. No. Every culture in the world share these 3 things, bro. Music, food, and language.
Yeah.
And then you can add in an honorable mention, art. But those main 3 things, food, language, and music. Like those are just those.
Those are major components of culture.
If you look at every culture in the world, it contains that. It's always a group of people speaking the same language, listening to the same music, eating the same food.
A way of living.
A way of living.
Way of life.
And that's why I always look at different cultures, because that's what makes me open now, or more open now, because when I look at every culture, they share that same thing, but the only thing that really separates us is when people become disrespectful toward that.
Right.
And that's what history contains of. People being disrespectful toward that culture. Not exactly hating it. That's a version of it, being disrespectful, but the main one is it's ego. I feel like my culture is so big, you need to do this.
Yeah.
I'm dominating over yours is weaker than mine, so therefore you need to become what I am.
Yeah. People that just don't, for whatever reason, they just don't like the way that you live.
Exactly. And that's the downfall that I see all the time. And I feel like it's too late, of course, and you can't go back in time, but I feel like now, if we really learn just to have a nice layer of respect, that would be able to really smooth things out.
Yeah.
Because at the end, we all share those 3 things I talked about. So if you understand that every culture shares that, then you'll also understand that culture shares that, but they're going to express it differently than you.
Right.
So don't get mad because they share the same thing. They're just saying it different. So just keep moving how you move, because how they're expressing is not going to mess you up unless you let it.
True.
So just, if you see someone acting different than, what you are, then leave it be and just keep moving. Cause it's not gonna affect you. You know what I mean? So I think if we just need to start respecting, like that love shit is dead. I said this before. It takes a lot to love somebody, but it takes nothing to respect somebody. If you're not endangering my life, if you're not endangering the way I live, then it's no threat. It's respect. It's respect from there because you could do that easy.
Right.
But the fact that you get respect from me, so I'm gonna just keep moving. Like people be so big on I don't have to go too deep into it. You already know, but that's the main thing. Just be respectful toward people's cultures, and that's why I always research cultures because it helps me understand people more.
Right.
You know what I mean? Just from every race.
Yeah, it helps you be less biased.
Exactly, bro.
If you ever were to be biased. Like I said, I'm only prejudiced against one type of people, and that's West County folks that live out there of all races. If you just live in, if you got that lifestyle, it's just probably not going to be a great time.
That's different. That's different. See, that's a whole different field right there. That's dealing with capitalism and some other shit.
That's a different type of culture.
But no, real quick, because you asked me, so that makes me wonder, have you been looking up a lot of historical figures, or you're more in countries as well, or what you've been looking up geographically wise / history?
To be honest, man, you know me. History has been my favorite subject since like middle school, since Mr. Biggs' class in 7th grade.
Shout out to Mr. Biggs.
Great teacher. He so I'm more of a country guy. Like I really like the history of like Japan, pre-anime. Mm-hmm. Not even just that section.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Yeah. Shit like I really fuck with I would say England, but we already know from school. America came from England pretty much what we know today. So I don't know, man. I'd say historical wise, I haven't been looking up anybody recently, but who the fuck? Historic wise, it's always times like this when you get asked the question, you just forget. Really you draw a blank.
No, I get it. I mean, there's a lot of good historical people, but I mean, you can name off names, but you try to find that one good one because
I'm just trying to think of the craziest guy.
Because I'm about to say, there's so many head ass like history figures you can go to where it's just like, of course we know them. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's just like it's hard to really think about
Gandhi. Who apparently was a shitty guy.
Yeah, but that's what you learn about a lot of these people. Gandhi, Louis Farrakhan, or not Louis Farrakhan, but Elijah Muhammad. You know what I mean? Like you found out the shit he was doing. That's why Malcolm left that shit.
Damn, man.
Well, who else, bro? Like, man, so many. Everyone holds a secret. But besides that, I'm just saying like names everyone knows, like your Gandhis, Genghis Khans, Alexander the Great. Like, people know.
For the afterlife.
Of course. Like, people know these names. So it's hard to find, like, a name to where it's, like, still interesting. But then, like, a lot of people don't know. Like, I think,
excuse me.
I seen Mansa Musa the other day. Like, the richest man, like, ever recorded in Earth's history. And then, like, it's very popular. At least gaining a lot of popularity now because, he was a black man from, Africa. I think he came across like a large kingdom in Africa where it held like so much gold and just precious material that he was like, I'm the richest man in the world now.
Right.
So like shit like that, like that's a powerful figure and what he represents is powerful, but yet a lot of people don't know. Like names like that is what people like to hear. Like
I can't think of any of the names now, but a few months ago I went on this like whole phase where I wanted to like really learn about the like outlaws in the Wild West days. And I was just reading, because they had writers back then.
Exactly.
And I was reading just times told by people, kind of like in that movie Unforgiven with Clint Eastwood and Morgan Freeman. There were people that just followed these guys around and wrote about them.
Yep.
And it was just crazy just hearing about their lifestyles. Back then, that was back when if you're at a bar and you have a disagreement with somebody, instead of fighting them, you might be like, just step outside,
Do the count.
do a duel, and you might end up just dying over just a dispute.
That day, bury him, get the wooden cross. Hammer that shit in. Nah, do your thing. I was about to say, we getting ready to wrap it up here in a second.
Drinking all that water, man.
Come on, stay hydrated, bro. It comes at a cost. This is what it is. That's crazy as hell, though. Imagine dying in front of a saloon and then you get buried right by it. You don't even fuck with it like that.
That's the thing, man. Like, that would just be horrible. And it's like, what did you say no to the duel? What happens?
You lost at a shitty saloon you don't even go to, and your body buried right there. They didn't even have the audacity to like take you back to your family. Like, you just buried by the saloon, like behind the motherfucker. Like, oh my god, that's some funny shit.
I had a question for you. I didn't know if you were hip to this shit, man. So I'm gonna ask you it on there. Oh, is it still recording?
Oh yeah, we was about to end it off, and then we good to go.
I gotta ask you about this, man. I don't know if you've noticed when you've been on Instagram, but there's been people uploading like portraits of themselves, but it's like AI generated.
Yeah.
So I've slowly seen over the years that AI has like started growing.
Oh yeah.
Obviously. But with this art stuff now, it's getting to the point where if an AI can generate you can type in any word, any phrase you want, and it'll make it for you in multiple ways. And it's to the point where it's like, bro, why are people are going to actually stop paying artists that live off commissions? And, I don't know if you've seen them on Instagram, but they'll be like, pay me $50 and I'll draw a portrait of you in the GTA style. So, AI is taking over now the art scene.
Yep, it is.
And they're able to make insane pictures. It's crazy to even see.
It's insane, and then I don't trust it because it's the same thing that happened with Snapchat, to where you can take a face or like take your face or whatever
and morph someone else. Yeah.
Like they making pictures of us through AI. So when that shit, when the shit pops off like that, AI can just create a whole new you without you knowing.
Yeah.
But that shit is crazy though. Back to your point, because that was my like little crazy conspiracy on it. But back to your point though, it is taking a lot of artists' jobs away, or like just opportunity, because now people are quick to go to these sites and make this happen. And some people actually pay for it. Like, people be like, dang, how you do this? They're like, oh yeah, this little subscription, it's a free trial, but after that, $7.99.
Exactly.
You like, damn, bro, that could be in an artist's hands. Like, they could do that same shit, but it's just like, you so lazy with it. You like, ooh, computer, and you seen everyone else do it with theirs, and it's so quick. And you like, ooh, I want to hop on the bandwagon. It's like, damn, bro, it's a motherfucker at the crib that went to college for computer design that could do this whole
It's all
thing.
about respect, man.
Yeah, it's all about respect. Again, bro, like, you don't understand the culture. Like, it's a whole culture to this art shit, and y'all disrespecting it by going to a whole computer system when it's like somebody that can actually know. Man, bro,
Damn.
so stupid.
Is it controversial, as a fellow Domino's lover, is it controversial to always just pick up your order and never deliver? Because I know that a lot of the drivers in Domino's also work inside, but I'm pretty sure they don't get paid enough to where they aren't living off their tips. So when you go and pick up your order, I don't know about you, I don't tip because I'm picking up my order.
Exactly.
So is it controversial if you just are always just like, I'm gonna do it myself?
I think it just depends, because again, delivery is a what you call it? Delivery is like a service. You know what I mean? And with a service, it's up to you whether or not you want it or not. So if you don't want that service, then feel free to pick it up, because in the end, Domino's is a business, and if you buy the food, that's where their main business comes from. The drivers are just a service they provide just for and amenity of that company.
Yeah.
To beat out the mom and pop shops, because usually mom and pop shops got delivery drivers, but it's not capitalized. It's not a capitalist system, so it's gonna be more expensive.
Hard.
No disrespect, but that's just how it is. So they provide that service. If you ask a Domino's CEO, 9 out of 10, they can give a fuck about the drivers. They're like, we making this pizza, and that's some real money maker. They just do that shit because it's a service.
Yeah.
So
That's a good point, man.
yeah, you shouldn't feel bad. You know what I mean? Now, you should feel bad if you get the service, but you can't afford it. Like, if you're not tipping your driver.
Yeah,
And this is speaking
man.
to those people. I know you don't do that shit, but
I always
yeah,
try to at least do 15%.
exactly,
At least.
bro. At least.
And sometimes, I'm not going to lie, sometimes like if I order in the rain, I'll be like, you know what? Custom tip.
Come on now. You know.
I'm not going to say the amount, but custom.
Custom. That's how you know. Because you don't need no amount.
No.
Like,
You're
you
like,
know.
I'm judging this guy off of the environmental disaster outside.
That's what I'm saying. I don't need no percentage. Like, it's custom, bro. You know it's going to be good. Like, bro, like.
And I always wish, like, when you click order after putting your tip and all that, I hope they see that, like, how much you will be tipping, because I feel like that's going to make them want to, like, make the food even better.
Exactly.
Like, you know what? Damn, this guy's...
Okay, he's good. He's good.
But I don't think they see it. So sometimes you tip good and your pizza comes out sloppy.
It's a yin and yang, hit or miss.
Domino's does sound good, though. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah. Plans for later
Yeah,
type shit.
I was about to say.
Because that does sound fire. But yeah, bro, that go ahead and wraps it up, man, for at least this episode. We had to cut out a usual short one. I know you got shit going on later, but we cutting it short because of me. So motherfuckers got plans and shit. So we gonna hit them with a smooth little 50-minute today.
Oh yeah, that's good, man.
But
like I said, you got to understand in the loop, dude. I'm gonna have to find some parking.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
That's it.
So
It's gonna be a minute. I
intense.
might have to get there in like the next hour or something.
Type shit, bro, just to get that shit settled. But as always, thank you for everyone for listening. We're gonna be back next Sunday with it. You already know the vibes. STLiens, we out of here.
Yeah.